Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I am Angela Yee. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning in. I know I did not make an announcement about coming on today, but I had a thought that came to me about sharing some tips on how to discover your weaknesses as well as your strengths. And so I'm going to give about four of those. And those that are supposed to watch the video, I know that you will. You'll be able to watch it whenever it comes through your news feed. And all I ask you to do is just like the video, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment in the video if the video has been a way that has, first of all, that caused you to resonate, if you resonated with some things in the video, as well as it has added value. So I'm going to give you four tips on how to identify what you're great at in the areas you want to grow. And I know I said strengths, and I also call those weaknesses. And so one thing that you can do right away, and I tell people to do this quite often, and that is self reflection. You can also do reflection upon your past. You can reflect upon past experiences that you've had, that you knew that you have, that you've grown from those experiences, and lessons that you've learned from previous life experiences. Life is all about giving us experiences. I know sometimes we feel like life is giving us things that we feel are so unfair. Like, why is everything always happening to me? Why does it seem like other people are progressing and they're moving forward in their life? I know I've said that many times. It seems like they're progressing and they're moving forward in their life. But when it comes to me, it's like I have to go through these different challenges and different things in order to just live life in peace and live life in tranquility, or live life without having problems. Well, that is so far from the truth, because you're never going to live this life without having some type of challenge. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, why challenges are important. And we need to have those in our life in order for us to grow. And so, but first of all, we're going to talk about the self reflection. The self reflection is so important. I tell people, first of all, if you've ever been in a relationship, or if you've had a friendship that broke up, or a business partnership that did not go the way in which you wanted, and that thing caused you to feel some type of bitterness, and you want to hold this enviness in your heart. And one thing that you do, that I do, and that I recommend you doing, instead of holding enviness in your heart, I often recommend you to self reflect. This is just an example. I had a partnership with someone that I was doing. They did not come through on their end of the bargain when it came to them building a website for me. This was a few years back, and I had paid the guy half of the money to build a website, and he did not build it. And I had to like really hound him down, like asking him, "Are you going to build a website for me?" And at the end of the day, it came to the conclusion that he was not going to build this website. And so I had lost so much money with him, waiting for him, because I didn't get the clients, because I was waiting for the site to be built. And at the same time, I had also paid him. Now, the part of me, the egotistical side of me, wanted to do damage to him. I'm just going to keep it real and 100. I wanted to hurt this guy. But the part of me that has been transformed, that now knows that what people do to you is not really a reflection of me or you, it's a reflection of them and their shortcomings and their character and their personality trait. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. So I often do self reflection, because had I not reflected upon what mistakes that I made when it came to that situation, I would have immediately lashed out at this guy and really said some very harmful things to him that really would have hurt him and probably caused emotional damage to him. Because, as women, we have a way with our words. We know how to say things in such a sharp way that can tear a person down. We know how to do that. We know how to fix some words together. And it's almost like using a butcher knife when it comes to us women. We know how to use our words and craft them so together to where it's like we're slicing a person into many pieces or bite-sized pieces. But I did not want to do that. I wanted to give that person the space that they needed in order for them to reflect as well, because I could have wished evil upon them. I could have wished them harm. But what I did do, I wished them the opportunity to self reflect as I was self reflecting as well. And so I self reflected upon the part that I played in there. And I learned, first of all, you don't give a person not even a half of the money. You maybe a third or a quarter of the money, but not half of the money. You allow them to show you what they have accomplished halfway in between the job. And it's hard when you trust someone on social media, because I met that individual on social media. So it's hard to trust someone on social media that you have not vetted personally through someone else that may have known the individual. And I took that person's word for it, and that person ended up letting me down. So it took me a minute to kind of get over that. Again, I self-reflected. I did not harm him with my words because I could, but I self-reflected. I considered the areas where I needed to excel, I needed to grow, or I needed to expand, and where I could have improved, so that the next time someone came along for me to give them an opportunity to do business with me or to collaborate with me, I knew now how to go into those business endeavors with the right mindset, with the right attitude, or with intelligence and with maturity and with some business sense. Now, see, you would think me being one who was an entrepreneur and that I teach other women how to do their business, you would have thought, well, why did she make that mistake? Why did you do that? You should know better than that. And I should have. I should have known better than to give him half of the money. But it was a time where I felt like I couldn't find anyone else to do the site, and I had been trying to figure it out for my own self for a while. And so I was just at a place where I was just really anxious to get this done. That is a key thing right there. Don't do anything out of anxiousness during the time of your anxiety. Allow yourself to come down, and to calm down, maybe you need to go and meditate. And I probably should have went and meditate and did some Zen work in order to cleanse out, the energy, that anxiety energy that was really infiltrating my mind, and the thoughts that this would never get done. That's what I was telling myself. This would never get done. I would never complete this website, and I'm losing customers. I'm not making money. And right now, today, I'm still right now in another position to where I'm building some things, I'm creating some things. And I know now, by me having to have that type of experience, I know now not to do anything based off anxiety, not to do it based off me feeling like I'm losing money. I have patience now. I have the understanding that money is an energy, and that I can create it not just through a website, but I can create money through other means, through other opportunities that the universe or God presents to me. So I self reflect. I hope that that person self reflect, but if he did or he did not, that's neither here nor there with me. My responsibility is for me. I am my first priority. I am the one who is responsible for what happens in my life, what I allow, and what I disallow, what I veto, or what I push back away from me. And so self reflection helps you to consider where you excel, how far you are going, how far you are progressing in this life, and the areas on your journey where you can improve. Number two, ask for input. People who know you well can provide great insight into your strengths and your weaknesses. Hopefully, those people are willing to tell you the truth about yourself. Sometimes we don't ask people about us to tell us things about us because we don't want to know the truth. But if you really want to grow and improve your life, you're going to have to ask people that are closest to you. And this is a part of self awareness. Self awareness teaches you when you're developing your self awareness muscle, because remember, we talked about that. Self awareness is a muscle that you have to develop. So when you're developing your self awareness muscle, you're going to ask those that are closest to you because, hey, they know you best. The people that live in your household, they know you better than those that you don't see every single day, than those that you meet on social media. And so ask the people that are closest to you to tell you about your strengths and your weaknesses. You may be surprised. You may be surprised that you may not have as many weaknesses as you think that you have, and you have more strengths. Your scale is probably like this. This is your strength and this is your weaknesses. You may have more strengths than you do weaknesses, but you can't be afraid to ask. Asking people that are closest to you about the challenges that you have will help you to grow. It will help you to tweak or to pivot areas in your life that you need to strengthen, that you need to develop, that you may even need to seek a mentor or a coach or even seek therapy in regards to those particular areas. So ask people for input. It's okay. I have a group of people. I have one particular person. Actually, I have multiple people, but I have a group of people. My group is so small, but I have people that I call every now and again and ask them, I want to get your perspective on something in regards to me, and I want you to tell me the truth. They automatically know they have the right to tell me the truth, whether it's hard, whether it's brutal. Tell me the truth because I want to grow. I'm all about evolving. I'm all about growing because if I'm not growing, then I am dying or I'm being stagnated. And we know there's no life in anything that's stagnated. So I give people permission. Maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to give people permission that are around you permission to tell you about your strengths as well as your weaknesses. Let them know that it's okay. And they don't have to walk on eggshells when it comes to telling you. Sometimes you can ask a person, well, hey, can you tell me this about myself? They're like, I don't know, if I should say that. If you're going to get offended, you got to be able to take constructive criticism. Everybody is not out to hurt you. People are actually rooting for you. People that you love or that love you that are in your circle, it should be people who actually want to see you win in life. So you can't be afraid to ask those around you to give you input about you. Now, I'm not talking about people who just always, they always have something negative to say. They never have anything positive to say. They don't uplift, they don't build, they don't encourage. It's always something constructive, constructive criticism when it comes to these people. I'm not talking about those folks. I'm talking about people that that have your best interests at heart. Ask them. Ask them for their input. Ask them to tell you about yourself. Ask them to give you insight. What is insight? They're able to insight, almost like you're going to go get a CAT scan and they're able to see what's going on the inside of your body, what things, what is happening within you. And then they're able to tell the doctor they have this going on within them. So that doctor now has insight on how they need to proceed with your diagnosis or with your care plan. Same way it is with your friends. Ask your friends to give you insight. Ask them to give you a scan, to scan you, to tell you, and I call it spiritual scanning, to scan you and tell you what is going on with you and the areas that you need to grow, and also the areas that you have gained a lot of strength. And it's okay to say that you are strong in certain areas. Sometimes I feel like we are afraid to say that we are strong. We're afraid to say that we are courageous. We're afraid to say that we did that, or that we are afraid to say we're proud of ourselves. It's okay to say that you are proud of yourself. A lot of times also too, I find because of us being in certain environments and religious institutions, and maybe, our parental upbringing, our cultural differences, a lot of times we don't praise ourselves. Some cultures don't let you praise yourself. You just can't say that you did a good job. You can't just pat yourself on the back and say, hey, I did that today. I remember my children, I remember telling them when they had a hard task that they were facing, and they would come to me and say, well, Mom, I don't think I can do this. And then once they did the task and the task was completed, I will always ask them, how did you feel? And they will always say, I felt good. And I ask, did you do your best? Yes. Then I say, give yourself a pat on the back. Pat yourself on the back because you did your very best. You did the work and you should be proud of what you've done. Not beat yourself up based off you feel like you didn't, achieve it the best way possible. You always have tomorrow. You always have the next day, or you always will have another opportunity in order to maybe get that same chance to do that particular assignment or something else that's new coming into your life. You have an opportunity to put your best foot forward if you feel like you did not put your best foot forward. But I will always encourage my children to pat themselves on the back and to praise themselves. So I believe that's one thing that we don't do enough. Number three, write things down. Writing things down help you to reflect on what worked and what did not work. I write a lot. I do a lot of journaling. I write in my journal in the evening time, and I write on my journal in the morning time when I wake up. I call it morning mapping. Morning mapping and journaling and morning mapping. I journal and write about different things that have transpired throughout the day. And even if I get a dream, sometimes I keep my notebook next to me in my bed or on my nightstand. And so if I get a dream in the middle of the night, I'll write down that dream so that when I wake up, I can remember that dream. And so, but I do write down reflecting things inside of my journal to help me reflect upon myself, to keep me aware, to keep me always in awareness of myself. But I also do morning mapping. I map out my morning. I map out the things that I'm going to do throughout the day, and I set realistic goals. We're going to talk about setting realistic goals, and that deals with my next number four, which is track your progress. Keep a journal to document your progress and changes you make. It's important to keep a journal to document the changes that you're making. How are you going to know if you are not making or accomplishing the goals? First of all, you're setting realistic goals. How are you not going to know if you are not accomplishing, if you are accomplishing your goals, if you are not writing it down? It's important or imperative that you write down your goals. It's important that you track your progress, because we can be so hard on ourselves. And that's why I say that, because we can be so hard on ourselves. You are making progress. Every little step that you make towards your goal matters, it counts. But because we feel as though we haven't accomplished a big goal in one day, that we're not making progress. And then we're hard, we're critical, we do self-sabotaging things. We have self-sabotaging thoughts like, this is never going to happen for me. I'm never going to make this. I'm never going to accomplish this thing. But when you start to track your progress, and every little thing, every small detail, every little thing, and every little steps that lead up to you accomplishing that goal is extremely important. And so, setting realistic goals. Don't make excuses for yourself. Don't make excuses as to reason why you did not do what you said you were going to do for that particular day. Stay focused, and you will not lose track. And so from this day forward, I want you to be encouraged to stay focused. And I want you to harness your confidence. And every single day you get up, I want you to hit the ground running. You're not waiting for the right time. There will never be a right time. There will never be a right moment. The only moment that you have right now is this moment that you have been given. As soon as you wake up in the morning, that is the moment. That's the only moment that you have. You cannot account for tomorrow. You cannot account for next week, because next week is today. You only have the day that you are in, and you must make a decision that you are right here. You woke up today, you're right here at this time, and that the world, your world, is waiting to feel who you are. And you have to make a decision that I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm not going to wait, and I'm not going to put off what I want to do any longer. I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to make the most of my time while preparing for what I asked for. And when the time is right, you don't have to sit and worry about how things are going to fall into place for you. When the time is right, all of the elements fall right into perfect place. I was sharing with a friend not long ago, I think it may have been like 3 or 4 weeks ago, about worrying. And I shared with her that worrying is a misuse of your intellectual real estate. Worrying is positioning, of putting your mind in a position of lack and defeat. There's nothing lacking. There's nothing that's defeated about you. You are courageous. You are abundant. You have an abundance of an array of blessings, an abundance of things that are on the inside of you that are just waiting to explode outside of you. You may not have all the answers right now, but you still have those things in you. You may not know how to pull those things out right now, but they are still there. I honestly believe that all of us came into this world not lacking anything that we need, no matter what it is. So, if it's something that you don't have in your life, then that's not something that you need. If it's something that you don't have, number one, it's not something that you don't need. Number two, you have not positioned your mind in the proper placement in order to attract that, because we attract everything into our life based off of our mindset, based off of how we think about ourselves, based off of the position that we put our thoughts in when it comes to the idea that we have about ourselves. Don't you know that you are an idea waiting to happen? You are someone's idea. First of all, you are your own idea, but you are someone else's idea waiting to happen. Think about all the things that have been invented. Everything that has been invented in this world, this cell phone, everything that you see, it was someone's idea. It was an idea that was waiting to happen. And you are that idea that's waiting to manifest for someone else. And in you manifesting for someone else, there is an abundance that will come back unto you. You don't have to have all the answers right away, but you do have to keep moving anyway, irregardless of whether or not you have everything lined up because you're waiting for the right moment. Keep moving. And as you're moving, you will gain your rhythm. You will continue to excel. You'll be connecting all the dots to see the bigger picture. And you'll look at things, you know, from the past, present, and the future context, and you'll receive favorable results. People say, well, the answer is not clear to me. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't understand it. As you keep moving, the destiny will be clear. As you keep moving, I'm going to say it again, the destiny will be clear and the answers will come to you, and you'll be committed to what you want and what you're working towards. Sometimes you got to go the extra mile. We go the extra mile for everybody else. We give the best of our time, the best of our talent, the best of our energy to everyone else. But when it comes to us, we shortchange us. We don't give ourselves the best. And so you have to ask yourself, why am I like that? And that comes with self-reflection. It's important to give the best of who you are to you. Give the best of your energy, the best of your attention, of your time, your talent, your abundance onto you. Focus on you. That's what self-love is all about. It's about focusing on you. Take the self-love serious. It's not so much as just getting your hair done and your nails and your makeup and the massage at the massage parlor, all those things. But self-love really is about focusing on you and doing what's best for you. I remember sharing it with a child of mine. I told him, I said, you have you. You don't have any dependence. You don't have anything that's stopping you but you. Focus on you. Make yourself the priority. Put the attention back on to self. Give yourself the best of everything. Because it's going to come a time where if you decide to have children, you won't have that opportunity so freely in order to focus on you. Because when you are a mom, or a parent, you focus on your children's well-being. So focus on yourself. Don't worry about the little things that don't matter. Self love is really about you loving yourself, you putting your goals, your needs, you giving yourself your time, taking yourself out to dinner, take yourself to the movies. You may not have a boyfriend or a husband to do that. Take yourself out to dinner, date yourself. Date yourself. And it's okay to date yourself. All right. So I just want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you today. And I want you to know that you can do self reflection. I'm going to give the tips again. You can ask for input. That's number 2. Number 3, write things down. Number 4, track your progress. And so I'm going to give some a word, or I may give several of words that can help strengthen you. First of all, I want you to know that when it comes to understanding your weakness, it can be very sloppy. It can be a sloppy path. Your journey can be so chaotic. We need the chaos. We need the challenges. We need that to gain and to build our self-awareness muscle. That's why I said at the beginning of the video, challenges are here to strengthen you. They're here to help develop your self-awareness muscle. You need to have a sloppy path. You need to have bumps in the road. You know how your mother would say, if you keep going on, there's a tree down there that's waiting for you. You keep acting like that. You need to run into a tree or a brick wall every now and again in order for you to develop your self-awareness muscle. Life cannot always be peaches and cream. Life is not always where you're up and you're down. You're going to have highs in this life. You better be grateful for those. And you're going to have lows in this life. Be grateful for those too. Be at peace with that, because none of it stays that way. It all changes. One minute you be high, things are going good for you. And then the next minute, boom, you have this collision of things, this catastrophic things that are taking place in your life. Say, for an example, myself, things where my life was just going so well. All of a sudden, my appendix ruptured. And my appendix ruptured, and I wasn't even going to talk about this today, but maybe somebody needs to hear this. But my appendix ruptured, and it's like my life did an entire pivot. It's like a full stop, first of all. And I literally just stopped in my tracks. I didn't know what hit me. I was in so much pain. And I'm going to tell this story in detail, probably in another YouTube video. But I was in so much pain. And when we finally figured out what it was, actually, I knew what it was. I self-diagnosed myself. And when I got to the hospital, they confirmed it. But my life had experienced a great deal of pain or trauma all at once. And I needed to have that experience. Because if it wasn't for that experience, I would not be sitting here before you right now. Sometimes we can look at stuff that has happened to us in such a negative way. We can look at it and say, well, why did that happen? I said that at the beginning of the video. Why did that happen to me? Why do it seem like everybody else is progressing and, people are making strides and they're doing things, and here I am, I'm having setbacks. Honey, setback is nothing but like a bow and an arrow. You're the arrow inside of the bow, and you're being pulled back in order to be shot forward. It may seem like a setback, but it's actually a setup. And had I had not gone through having a ruptured appendix, I would not be sitting here. I would be working at my spas, because I had several spa locations. And it has given me now an opportunity to talk and to share and to teach from my own experiences, from my own life lessons, and challenges that I've experienced and that I've transformed my life. I really have reinvented myself. I am not the same person that I was prior to having that experience. I'm not the same person. The people that I knew before that experience, and I have not, that did not talk with me while I was in the midst of that, they don't they don't know me, and I don't know them, and it's okay. But I had to have that experience in order to transform my life, to reinvent me. And if you look at the things that you're going through in life, just as that, an opportunity for you to reinvent yourself, to be this version of yourself that you've never experienced. I've never experienced this version of me, but I absolutely love this version of who I am. I love this girl, and I wouldn't change nothing about me. Other people may come into your life and say, look at you side eye and say, oh, she's stuck on herself and she's this, that, and the third. Honey, if only you knew how long it has taken me to get to this place in my life. If only you knew. If only you knew, in that song that Patti LaBelle sang, if only you knew how much I do love you. Honey, I love me now. If only you knew how much I love me, how much I take self-love seriously. I thought I was loving myself before, but now, mm, the love that I have for me is just so like off the charts good. So I'm going to give a couple of words. I took a little bunny trail, but we're going to talk about my journey of challenging my journey of reinventing myself and transforming myself. So I'm going to give you some weakness words that we all have said. One of those words is saying that you are a procrastinator. Sometimes we call ourselves a procrastinator, but a procrastinator is a weakness. And so when it comes to understanding your weaknesses, it's quite, again, just a really bad road, a sloppy road. It is at this point in your life when you're experiencing the challenges where you place your creative thinking to play and be smart about it, instead of judging and crying. And it's okay to share the tear, but I'm talking about where you're staying in that vibration, where you're living in that low level vibration. Instead of doing that, you need to play with the experience and be smart about the experience, and monopolize and economize on that experience. And once you do that, your answers that you need to reflect upon about yourself will become clear. And you have a clear understanding of your own weak spots, yet it needs to not be so much um, absolve you of your weaknesses, or to eliminate of your strengths. I'm sorry, but it just helps you to understand and critically analyze and have a clear understanding about your own weaknesses, your own weak spots. I did a video a while back on Facebook about blind spots. We all have blind spots, and those blind spots are our weaknesses. And so here are some things that I feel, one word, I'm going to give you four that I feel are weaknesses for a lot of us. I already said one, and that's we're too critical of ourselves. We have this perfectionist. Like if it's not right, perfect, my hair is not right, my makeup is not right, I don't have on the right outfit, or I don't have this done, then I'm not going to do it because everything has to be perfect. Honey, you don't live in a perfect world. Do it. Stop using perfectionist as an excuse for not doing what you want to do. Number three is procrastinator. You put it off for tomorrow. Say, well, I'll get to it tomorrow. There will never be a tomorrow. There'll never be a tomorrow for you to pick it up. Do it right now. Really, you're saying, I don't really believe that I'm capable of doing what I want to do. So I'm going to put it off and I'll just wait. Or you're still trying to gather the strength and the courage to do it. Or you don't believe that people will actually want to pay attention to what you have to say. It really is all about you. You're procrastinating, not because the things are not available to you, but because you don't trust yourself to be able to do this. So you put it off. An introvert. I remember I used to say that I was an introvert. I'm an introvert. I go stand in the corner and I watch everybody else doing things, knowing all along I really wanted to do those things. But because of childhood trauma, because of things that took place in my life, I would just watch other people do things and I would just sit in the corner. But again, God gives you experiences and challenges in this life that will help pull out of you all of those things: the critical self-thinking, the perfectionist, the procrastinator, and the introvert. Pull all of that out of you. I'm grateful for the experiences that I've had. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next part because I don't want to hold the video too long. So I'm going to give a few words that helps to strengthen you, or to know that you are walking in the right path when it comes to self-strength. First word is confidence. You got to have the willingness to try even when you doubt yourself, because nobody really knows what they're doing. And if you didn't have the experiences or the challenges, you wouldn't have the experience. Everybody really is trying to figure it out. That's why you see so many people on YouTube saying, here's 10 things that work, because those 10 things work for them. Or here are 5 things in order to save up for retirement. Here are 10 ways to lose extra belly fat really quickly. Here's 10 ways to grow your hair, because nobody has all the answers. We're all trying to figure it out. So you got to have the confidence to step out and be willing to try it, even when you doubt yourself. Number 2, be determined. You got to have determination, the intent to approach everything with excitement. You got to have drive and you have to have purpose. You got to be excited about what you're doing. I'm so glad that I don't do the spas anymore, because I had lost my drive and my excitement for it, because I didn't feel the purpose, me connected to it anymore. That this was what I'm supposed to be doing at this time. I was given an opportunity to pivot. So you have to have determination. Be determined about everything when you approach anything and everything in your life. Number 4, take risks. Taking risk is necessary, because the greatest hazard in life is not taking risks. To stand on the sidelines and to wish and to hope and to not take a risk and bet on yourself, that's one of the most detrimental things that you can do to yourself. I think it's number 4, growth. Pain nourishes courage, and you have to fall in order to practice being brave. If you never fall, when my children were young, I had to step back and allow them to experience life. I allowed them to fall off their bikes. I couldn't catch them when they were skating. I could not catch them. If I did, then I took away the opportunity for them to be courageous and for them to be brave. You are going to have experiences in this life where it feels like you're falling apart, but you're actually falling into pieces. You're falling into place, not into pieces, but you're falling into place. It's going to feel like your life is falling into pieces, but everything is falling into place for you. It feels like all hell is breaking loose in your life, but you've been given an opportunity to practice being brave. Every day, show up to practice being brave. If you are afraid to do public speaking, get in your mirror and stand in front of your mirror and imagine this audience before you, and you're talking to this audience until you get the courage to actually maybe get on YouTube, or before you get that speaking engagement. Practice being brave in whatever area you don't feel confident in. Number five, challenge. There are no great people in this world, only great challenges with ordinary people rise to meet. I'm going to leave you with that thought. There are no great people in this world that have not experienced any type of challenges in this world. You have ordinary people who have risen to the occasion, who risen to the challenge that they had experienced, and they did not allow the challenge to defeat them. Challenges come to make you strong. They come so that you can be strengthened and so you can develop your self-aware muscles. Without challenges, you would not be able to succeed. You would not gain the experiences that you need in order to strengthen yourself. You will not even also to know where you're weak at without having the challenges in your life. Okay. So I thank you all for tuning in, no matter where you are. If you like this video, subscribe, leave me a comment. And if you're interested in me doing any type of coaching or mentorship with you, feel free to send me a message, or you can leave the comment in the comment section. Okay. I hope you have a good day. Bye, y'all.